Yali Madat and welcome to the Ismaili update. My name is Shamya and today we're in the beautiful island of Zanzibar. It's an exciting time here as tomorrow Princess Zara and the First Lady of Zanzibar, Her Excellency Mariam Winnie, will be here to inaugurate the new Aga Khan Polyclinic in Zanzibar. More about that tomorrow, but for today, I'm here with Dr. Farouk Topan, a scholar of Swahili language, literature and culture, and a Zanzibari. Today we're going to talk to him about the history of this island and its significance. Dr. Topan, thank you for joining me on the historic streets of Zanzibar to have a chat. Maybe let's talk about Ismailis in East Africa and the first settlers here. How did that come about? Can you tell us more about that?
Well, we don't have documentary evidence beyond the 19th century, earlier than 19th century, but we know for certain that there may have been trickles sort of coming from other places. Ismailis, for certain, their arrival in East Africa in a sort of established way started from the beginnings of the 19th century. Between the early 30s and the late 19th century, Zanzibar became a very important area, very, very important for the region, and therefore people who had come earlier then began to establish themselves, Ismailis, with like firms, and then they helped other Ismailis come over from Kutch, Gujarat, and other areas of India.
Okay. We know that Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah visited East Africa during his jubilees, and we also believe that he was likely the first Imam to actually visit East Africa in 1899, and then coming back in 1905 with another important visit. Can you talk to me more about that and paint a picture about 1905?
Well, 1905, things came together. In Zanzibar, I think Maulana Sultan Shah started putting the bedrock and the seed for what came later as a very elaborate administrative system and institutionalization of the Ismaili leadership, as it were. And then institutions then very slowly took shape and became very important. Okay. You had the Jamat Khana donated by Wazir Qasim Damani. The Jamat Khana was established in 1838.
Wow.
And he donated it to Maulana Sultan Shah. And when you enter Jamat Khana, there is a plaque there which says that whoever enters this should say a prayer for the soul of Wazir Qasim Damani, because he was because of his generosity and his loyalty and his giving that whole building to the Imam of the time. So that's one thing. Then you had the beginning of education, and it is significant that the first Ismaili school in East Africa was a girls' school, and this reflects the leadership of the Imam of Sultan Shah, who had placed emphasis on girls' education because he felt that educating a girl means educating a family.
Of course.
Children, now we know that the best time of when a child begins to flourish is between the ages of almost zero, if you like, to 3 to 5 to 7.
Yes. Let's move a little forward and talk about your grandfather. He was a prominent member of Zanzibar society at large, and he opened up the dispensary. I want to hear more about that and his thoughts behind it and why it was so significant at the time.
Well, he came to Zanzibar in mid-30s, 1830s. That's precisely the time when Zanzibar began becoming so prosperous.
Yes.
And in a sense, he rode that wave. The dispensary was his way of showing perhaps his gratitude or contributing significantly to the community, not just Ismaili community, but to all Zanzibaris, because he decided then to build a hospital, which was the dispensary. So he died in 1891. He was knighted by Queen Victoria. So it was Sir Farouk Topan.
Yeah. And can you tell me more about, I think, what happened with the dispensary after, its course and what happened and where it is now and what's going to happen with it?
Well, the dispensary is a wonderful building. I mean, it's an ornate building, it's a grand building.
Yes.
And it symbolizes, in a sense, the relationship which was there between Zanzibar and India in many respects. And one of them was architecture. Yes. And because when you go into the dispensary, you see all this wonderful architecture. And to have a hospital in that mode, I think is wonderful. Anyway, so he had not lived to see the dispensary, but then his wife, Lady Janbai, she continued with it, but then she felt that the funds were running out. Then it was taken over by another philanthropist, the estate of another community, Nur Muhammad. So there were two names there of Dr Farouk Topan and of this gentleman, Nur Muhammad, who was of this national community. So it's so nice to say that both the communities had a part in that dispensary. You have the Ismaili and the international.
And then when did we see AKTC come in?
Well, after the revolution in Zanzibar, that building was taken over by the government, but then it sort of became a little bit dilapidated, etc. Then the AKTC, Trust for Culture, came in and renovated it, reconstructed it, and they took pains to do that in a way that was genuine for that particular building. So in other words, they did not impose a modern type of building methods, but they went to the original to see how it could be rebuilt in a fashion that was true to its original idea.
So as we're talking about this,
Right.
and anticipating the opening of this dispensary, how do you think your grandfather would feel? What would he say?
He would have been very proud.
Yeah.
You see that the purpose which he had for this particular dispensary is now being re-realized, because as I said, the Nur Muhammad estate had turned into a dispensary which had run up to 1964, and now he would have felt quite proud and quite happy. It's being done in a new atmosphere, in a new age. It's a new type of medicine now. I mean, because medicine itself has gone through an evolution of new findings over the century. So it would have been very proud and very happy.
I think it comes full circle.
Oh, it has, and perhaps on his behalf, I should say I'm very grateful to the Arkan Health Services and the Arkan Trust for Culture for this, and of course, to the Imam Sabah.
As someone that didn't know the history of any of these things, I really enjoyed hearing about it, and I wish you could keep telling me more, but it's been incredible. So thank you so much.
No, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, this was
Thank you
lovely.
very much for this opportunity.
I hope you found my conversation with Dr. Topan as interesting as I did. Join me again tomorrow, right here in Zanzibar, at the inauguration of the Aga Khan Polyclinic. Until then, Asante Sana and Kwaheri.